Presidential politics, Jeb Bush making some news over the weekend. Here is a two-term governor from the great state of Florida, which is a must-win to win the presidency. Comes from a family of presidential winners with $100 million in his war chest from a super PAC. And the man is barely polling above 5%. Over the weekend, it was announced that he is slashing payroll. He is cutting people. He is sort of reworking his entire campaign so that he's focusing on New Hampshire, as well as calling out his dad and his brother, 41 and 43, to sort of give his campaign a bit of a jolt, because right now it's wallowing. Now, listen to Jeb Bush talk about his campaign, and don't listen. And does this sound like a man who was frustrated?
If this election is about how we're going to fight to get nothing done, then I don't want anything. I don't want any part of it. I don't want to be elected president to sit around and see gridlock just become so dominant that people literally are in decline in their lives. That is not my motivation. I got a lot of really cool things that I could do other than sit around being miserable, listening to people demonize me and me feeling compelled to demonize them. That is a joke. Elect Trump if you want that.
Yeah. Now, where's that Jeb Bush?
I don't know.
Right?
Yeah.
Where's that Jeb Bush? I like that Jeb Bush.
Yes, because yes and no, because he's fighting back and, trying to make a point.
Yeah.
We need to get to the topics at hand and not.
Well, but
is that really Jeb Bush?
Well, it sounded like a really frustrated Jeb Bush. Sounds like a guy who's being overhandled and overprocessed. Speaking about processed food, right? Talk about a processed candidate. I go back to what Joe Biden said last night on 60 Minutes. It wasn't what he said; it's how he said it. He was nuanced. He was relaxed. It was a conversation. That guy is really interesting. Mitt Romney, outside of the bright lights, when you sit and you talk to him, he's a really, really smart guy. You talk to people who talk to him behind the scenes, he's a really smart, nuanced guy. But I think the American population understands that the people we see on TV is bogus. And so because they're so yearning for somebody real, that they'll believe Donald Trump is real, even though he's more fake than anybody else. But they're so yearning for somebody real that they'll take somebody who's so fake real that they'll go for a reality star, even though that they know he's fake.
That's actually beautifully put. And I can't believe I just said that. But that's true. And I've been saying all along, this cannot be the real Donald Trump.
Right. People will say, I like him because he's real, but he's just playing a character on TV.
Right.
But he's real. But he's not real.
No.
Right, yeah.
He's not.
Whereas that clip from Jeb Bush right there shows a man who's frustrated, who can't find his sea legs. Too many people that the front runner is sort of mixed in all of this, and Donald Trump is sucking all the oxygen out of the room that Jeb Bush can't get a word in edgewise because he has a more nuanced approach.
It's funny that people want real. Donald Trump's not really real, but then you have Ben Carson, who appears that really doesn't have much of a pulse.
Ben Carson, you have to turn the TV up to hear him because he's so reserved. It's a really interesting place we find ourselves in. But Jeb Bush slashing budgets, cutting people from the payroll, and sort of throwing all of his money into New Hampshire. So
it's been the most unusual.
It's been an interesting
process.
run. 8:09 here, Big 550 KTR.